President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso has done something that is frightening Western capitals, as well as the puppet leaders of the West in Africa. What did he do? Up until now, Western military installations have been able to freely operate in African nations, while gathering intelligence that they then use to threaten and blackmail African officials. Ibrahim Traore, however, has made the decision to stop it and has ordered a sizable shipment of drones from Turkey. In addition to monitoring the Western soldiers, these drones will be employed for observation of activities within these military installations by the West. But what can these drones really do? And why is it causing concern in Western capitals? In this video, let's find out. What then has transpired? Burkina Faso, however, has just debuted the Akinchi, a new long-range military drone, signifying a critical development in its defense against rebel organizations. Nonetheless, Burkina Faso has acquired drones from Turkey for other purposes as well. The drone batch also contained a variety of guided and unguided ammunition, as well as the sharpest Bayraktar TB2 drones. Burkina Faso's increasing reliance on Turkish military hardware is brought to light by the deployment of the Akinchi drones, which also signal a move toward new defense partners and suppliers. The increasing trend of defense and aerospace exports to Africa implies that the continent is turning into a desirable market for Turkish defense industries. The Raider, also known as the Bayraktar Akinchi, is an unmanned combat aerial vehicle, UCAV, with a long endurance and a high altitude, produced by the Turkish defense corporation Bayraktar. It can carry a payload surpassing 1,350 kilograms and has a maximum takeoff weight of almost 5.5 tons. The Akinchi's powerful turboprop engines power it, and outfitted with cutting-edge communication and technological technologies. Produced by Bayraktar Defense as well, the Bayraktar TB2 is a tactical combat drone with a 150 kilograms payload and a 12-meter wingspan. It has sensors and cameras for targeting, surveillance, and reconnaissance tasks. The TB2 is useful for border surveillance and home security operations because of its longer flight duration of more than 24 hours and capacity to carry air-to-ground missiles. The Akinchi drones are capable of carrying a variety of weapons, such as laser-guided bombs, GPS, and MAM-IL and MAMT missiles. Burkina Faso's intention to defend against various threats, especially insurgent groups in the region, is demonstrated by its varied weaponry. The head of the junta, Captain Ibrahim Traore, took delight in the successful integration of these drones into the fleet of the Burkina Faso army, pointing out that all tests had been completed. Traore highlighted that the Akinchi has outperformed its predicted technological capabilities and that the TB2 drone has shown effective since the start of the conflict. He said that the larger fleet enables ongoing surveillance and timely intervention. General Kassim Koulibaly, the Minister of Defense, confirmed the rise in drone usage, saying that there are now more aircraft in the skies that are looking for and eliminating enemy threats. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the president of Turkey, was also thanked by Traore for the positive and sincere collaboration. How powerful are these drones, though? Drones have, nevertheless, revolutionized surveillance and contemporary warfare in recent years. But the African military forces never received drones from the Western military stations located in Burkina Faso and other African nations. Drones were used extensively for surveillance by Western soldiers, but African militaries were not given access to them. However, Burkina Faso now possesses sophisticated drones that have the ability to alter the balance of power in the area. The Turkish defense manufacturer Bayraktar's drones, the TB2 and Akinchi models, are among the leading contenders in this industry. These drones' cutting-edge capabilities, sturdy construction, and effective use in a range of situations have drawn interest from all over the world. The sleek, fixed-wing Bayraktar TB2 has a V-tail layout and a straight wing positioned high. Composite materials make up the majority of its airframe, finding a medium ground between robustness and low weight. The TB2 is comparatively small for its class, with a length of around 6.5 meters and a wingspan of almost 12 meters. Up to 150 kilograms of payload, comprising of several sensors, laser designators, and precision-guided missiles, can be transported by the TB2. Its remarkable endurance of up to 27 hours makes extensive missions possible. With line-of-sight control, the operational range is approximately 150 kilometers. However, with satellite connection, this range is greatly increased. The TB2 has the capacity to cruise at speeds between 70 and 120 knots and reach a maximum altitude of 27,000 feet. The TB2 is a very useful tool for target acquisition, reconnaissance, and surveillance because it is outfitted with electro-optical and infrared cameras, laser rangefinders, and target designators. Next are the Akinchi drones, which have a longer fuselage, straight wings, and a V-tail along with a larger twin-engine layout. Its performance is improved by its sturdy and aerodynamic design. The bigger dimensions of the Akinchi, measuring roughly 12.2 meters in length and 20 meters in wingspan, enable it to carry a heavier payload and fly longer. With a payload capacity of 1,350 kilograms, the Akinchi is capable of transporting sophisticated radar systems, electronic warfare suites, and a variety of weaponry, including guided bombs and missiles. It can carry out long-duration operations because of its endurance of more than 24 hours. With SATCOM, its operational range is greatly increased, giving it a global reach. The Akinchi cruises at a speed of about 130 to 150 knots and has a maximum altitude of 40,000 feet. Modern sensors, such as active electronically scanned array radar, are installed in it, intelligence signals, and air cameras. The Akinchi excels in duties including intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare thanks to these qualities. The Akinchi is appropriate for a range of missions, from deep strike operations to broad surveillance, due to its capacity to carry large and varied payloads. It can disrupt enemy communications and radar systems to its sophisticated radar and electronic warfare capabilities, giving it a tactical edge. When comparing the two drones, the Akinchi's bigger size allows for heavier and more advanced technology, while the TB2's smaller size allows for a lighter payload. While the endurance of both drones is amazing, the Akinchi has a wider operational range due to its superior communication technologies and longer range. The TB2 has shown its value in a variety of combat situations and is a very effective tool for tactical operations. Designed for strategic missions, the Akinchi provides features that go beyond those of a typical UAV. Will Burkina Faso, however, employ these drones to monitor and control Western soldiers and military bases? By using the newest drones to keep an eye on Western military installations around Africa, Burkina Faso is taking a risky step to strengthen its military posture. This action is a major turn in the direction of claiming more authority and monitoring over foreign military actions on the continent. Western bases have historically operated with a great deal of autonomy, frequently conducting covert operations with little to no transparency. Burkina Faso wants to completely alter this relationship, which is why they are introducing sophisticated drones. The newest drones from Turkey are outfitted with cutting-edge surveillance gear. These unmanned aerial vehicles have real-time data transmission capabilities, infrared sensors, and high-resolution cameras. Burkina Faso will be able to keep a close eye on Western military outposts thanks to this cutting-edge technology, giving them a clear and complete picture of their movements and operations. Burkina Faso can obtain timely and useful intelligence thanks to the drone's real-time data collection and transmission capabilities. They will have the ability to follow the movements of Western forces, keep an eye on the military's equipment deployment, and see any clandestine operations in real time. The element of real time is essential, enabling prompt reactions to actions judged threatening or suspicious. Burkina Faso hopes to raise awareness about the presence and actions of Western military forces in Africa by utilizing drones for monitoring. These outposts have historically carried out missions with little to no supervision from local authorities. The use of drones will contribute to ensuring that all operations respect African nations' sovereignty and are carried out within the confines of international law. Drone surveillance will prevent Western military troops from conducting clandestine operations. Armed with the knowledge that their activities are being observed and documented, these forces might be less likely to embark on missions that might be viewed as contentious or invasive. This closer examination might result in fewer clandestine operations and encourage more open communication between Western armies and African countries. The use of these drones also serves as a declaration of Burkina Faso's independence and sovereignty. Burkina Faso is reiterating its claim to control over foreign military operations on its territory and throughout the continent by seizing control of monitoring and surveillance. This action may serve as an example for other African countries, encouraging them to take same actions in an attempt to preserve more sovereignty over their own lands. These drones' improved surveillance capabilities will have a major positive impact on regional security. Through vigilant observation of Western military installations, Burkina Faso is better equipped to recognize and neutralize possible threats. This proactive strategy will support the preservation of peace and stability in the area. Add your voice to the total liberation of Africa by dropping a comment in the comments section below. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more informative videos like this one. Let's continue. Will these drones, however, deter Western nations and compel them to withdraw their military installations? Western nations may soon reevaluate their military presence on the continent, according to Burkina Faso's expanding use of modern drone technology to monitor Western troops and sites throughout Africa. This possible reevaluation is a result of the realization that Western forces may be prevented from carrying out clandestine actions that have previously benefited their strategic objectives by Burkina Faso's monitoring activities. Through the utilization of state-of-the-art drones that are outfitted with high-definition cameras and real-time data transmission systems, Burkina Faso has gained the capacity to continuously and thoroughly observe Western military operations. These drones make it easier to precisely follow movements, observe operations, and acquire intelligence. Western troops' capacity to act autonomously and secretly is severely restricted by this increased surveillance, subjecting their activities to continual observation. Burkina Faso's close supervision of Western soldiers and bases poses a direct challenge to the Western country's long-standing autonomy and secrecy when conducting military operations throughout Africa. Secret operations, which are essential to Western military tactics for defending strategic interests and influencing events, run a higher danger of being discovered and having negative diplomatic repercussions. Western countries are forced to reevaluate the strategic worth and practicality of keeping military installations under such close observation. Depending on the level of surveillance and exposure danger, Western nations may decide to downsize or remove their military outposts entirely from Africa. Withdrawal could be viewed as a practical step to protect sensitive activities and manage diplomatic difficulties. Ongoing monitoring jeopardizes operational effectiveness and secrecy, posing diplomatic challenges that could strain relations with host nations like Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is ready to use its drone capabilities to bridge the monitoring gap throughout Africa in the event that Western bases do withdraw. Burkina Faso wants to bolster its own security posture and contribute to greater stability in the region by growing its surveillance network and working closely with partners in the region. Burkina Faso's assertive stance places it in the center of regional security dynamics, which could impact the strategic balance of power on the continent. Will Burkina Faso, however, supply these drones to its friends in order to guarantee comprehensive intelligence? By using cutting-edge drones, Burkina Faso is making a daring move to improve its intelligence and surveillance capacities. These drones serve more than just the country. In order to guarantee thorough large-scale intelligence and data collecting throughout the continent, Burkina Faso intends to share them with its partners. Burkina Faso is creating a global network of countries that can exchange data and intelligence by giving drones to its allies. These nations will be able to monitor actions over large territories more effectively thanks to this agreement, which will improve their collective surveillance capabilities. With shared data, common threats may be recognized and addressed, enhancing stability and security in the area. Real-time data transmission systems, infrared sensors, and high-resolution cameras are all fitted aboard the drones. These cutting-edge technologies make it possible to continuously and thoroughly monitor ground operations. Drones provide the ability to record and transmit sharp pictures and videos, monitor motion, and obtain crucial information about military activities, infrastructure, and other important fields of study. Real-time data transmission enables Burkina Faso and its partners to respond quickly to new threats. Having access to this real-time knowledge is essential for planning responses, making well-informed decisions, and putting plans in place to mitigate security threats. The constant exchange of information guarantees that everyone involved is aware of the most recent developments in the field. Is Ibrahim Traore, though, going to utilize these drones to monitor the puppets of the West in Africa? One of the main goals of using these drones is to keep an eye on African leaders who are seen to be influenced by the West. These leaders, who are frequently called puppets, are thought to behave more in the interests of Western powers than of their own nations. Burkina Faso seeks to reveal any actions that compromise regional and national sovereignty by closely monitoring their operations. The drones will collect proof of any shady dealings or clandestine missions carried out by these officials. This includes keeping an eye on their communications, whereabouts, and cooperation with foreign organizations. By using the information gathered, we can hold these leaders responsible and make sure they act in their country's best interests. These officials that lean toward the West are terrified by the improved surveillance capabilities. They might behave more cautiously in their interactions if they are aware that everything they do is being watched and recorded. This might result in a decrease in actions deemed harmful to their nation's stability and sovereignty. Drones are a great deterrent against operations that could be damaging or clandestine. Because these nations would also be subjected to the vast monitoring operations, worry is also being felt in Western countries. Burkina Faso is asserting its sovereignty and posing a challenge to Western power in Africa by seizing control of intelligence and monitoring. By doing this, the nation and its allies gain more authority over its regions and are better able to defend their interests. Regional security is enhanced by the deployment of drones for extensive intelligence collecting and leader monitoring of Western allies. As a result, the environment is safer and more stable throughout the continent, allowing Burkina Faso and its partners to more effectively identify and counter possible threats. Drone use encourages accountability and openness among African governments. Burkina Faso is pushing for more responsible government and lessening the influence of foreign powers by disclosing covert actions and making sure that leaders work in the best interests of their nations. Will drones, though, be employed against rebels? Burkina Faso is getting ready to use cutting-edge drone technology as part of its continuous operations to fight rebel groups along its borders with Niger and Mali. With the use of cutting-edge drones, this strategic effort strengthens Burkina Faso's defense capabilities by enhancing offensive and surveillance operations in areas beset by rebel activity. Burkina Faso will be able to carry out massive surveillance and reconnaissance flights across wide and difficult terrain thanks to the deployment of advanced drones. These drones are outfitted with cutting-edge sensors, including as infrared technology and high-resolution cameras, which allow them to track and identify the strongholds of rebels in real time. This improved capability promotes targeted military operations planning and execution in addition to improving situational awareness. Drones' capacity to protect ground forces by offering real-time intelligence and surveillance is a significant advantage. From a safe distance, drones may warn soldiers of possible hazards like ambushes or homemade explosive devices. These drones can also carry weaponry and missiles, preventing any troop losses and enabling Burkina Faso to target militants and their bases properly. By taking a proactive stance, the hazards faced by soldiers stationed in dangerous settings are greatly decreased, improving overall operational safety and effectiveness. Burkina Faso's drones are outfitted with precision-guided missiles, allowing for targeted bombings against rebel targets in addition to surveillance missions. This skill enables targeted attacks on command headquarters, supply routes, and insurgent camps, minimizing dangers to ground forces while interfering with insurgent operations. Remote operations save resources, minimize the need for lengthy ground battles, and lower the possibility of military losses among Burkina Faso's troops. The use of drones in Burkina Faso's counterinsurgency strategy highlights the country's regional security strategy. Drones are a vital instrument for coordinating efforts with neighboring nations like Mali and Niger in the Sahel region, where insurgent actions frequently transcend national borders. Collaborative military efforts can successfully counter the transnational threat posed by rebel groups and reinforce border security through the sharing of intelligence and coordinating drone operations. An important development in Burkina Faso's military capabilities is the strategic use of advanced drones, which will help the country preserve security and stability in the face of ongoing threats from rebel groups. In addition to defending its sovereign territory, Burkina Faso hopes to support regional peace and security initiatives by working with foreign partners and utilizing drone technology for surveillance, protection, and precision strikes. What do you think about Ibrahim Traore importing drones from Turkey? Will Ibrahim Traore utilize these drones to monitor and control troops and military installations by the West? Ibrahim Traore is trying to dissuade African politicians who are pawns of the West from being used by them. Let us know what you think about Ibrahim Traore's efforts to empower Africa in the comments section below. We explore the rich history, culture, and the ongoing struggle for sovereignty in Africa. Join us in this important conversation by subscribing to our channel. By subscribing, you're not just staying informed, you're becoming part of a movement dedicated to reclaiming Africa's rightful place on the global stage. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Let's work together to spread knowledge and inspire change. Thanks for watching.